Okay, welcome back again. Welcome to our teaching series on Forex Trading. And this series will be talking about Forex terminologies and the basic terms you need to be acquainted with. It's important that before you start trading the Forex markets, you familiarize yourself with the basic Forex terminologies, and there are so many to learn about, but on this video we'll be talking about popular terms used among traders. So on our list we have the currency pair. We have been talking about the currency pair from the previous series, and there's a whole lot to talk about the currency pair, but for the sake of this series you just have to understand that Forex is traded in currency pair. And what currency pair actually is that it is a price quotation of two different currencies traded simultaneously. That means when you're trading a currency pair, you are buying one currency and selling the other, or you are selling one currency and buying the other simultaneously. And so the rate at which this currency pair can be traded is called the exchange rate. In the example of the Euro USD, the Euro is called the base currency. We'll talk more about that when we analyze what currency pairs are. And what is the base currency? It's a currency that comes first in a currency pair, usually placed at the left hand side in the quotation, like we have here in our example, the Euro USD. And the USD on the other hand is the quote currency because it comes second and is placed at the right hand side in the currency pair. And so there are ways of trading the Forex market. A trader can choose to maintain a long position or to maintain a short position. And this has nothing to do with the timing or how long the trader is in the market. What a long position means is that a trader is buying in the market, and a short position simply means a trader is selling in the market. And so a trader goes long with the expectation that the market will rise, and so he buys the market. On the other hand, he goes short with the expectation that the market will fall, so he sells an asset in the market. Therefore, the price at which the trader sells an asset in the market is called the bid price, and that which he buys in the market is called the asked price. So the difference between the bid price and the asked price gives you your spread. Usually you get the best spread from assets that are more liquid in the market. Now when we go further in the course, you will understand that there are some assets, there are some currencies that are more liquid, more traded on. And as a trader, it is important that when you're trading the market or when you're trading an asset, you go for the asset that has the best spread. So more of that will be coming up in our subsequent series. But for now, let's go on. So pips. Pips is a standard for price measurements in the market. In full, it is called percentage in profit. So you need to measure your profits or your loss. You do that with the measurement of pips. And also that also will be explained more in details in our subsequent series. And lots. Forex is traded in lots. We have several types of lot sizes: the standard, the mini, the micro, and some of the Forex brokers have what they call the nano lot size. Well, it all depends on the Forex broker you're using. Some of these brokers will only provide you with three basic lot sizes, which are the standard, the mini, and the micro lot sizes. So we've been talking about leverage in our previous series. So all it entails is that it's a form of borrowed capital that enables the trader to increase his or her trading power in the market. So by the means of this leverage, you can control greater positions with only a nominal capital. And so there are limits to which you can use the leverage in the Forex market, and this is what is called the margin. And by margin, it implies that you are required to have a minimum deposit in your account in order to maintain an open position. Now there's an amount of money that is required to be in your account for you to maintain an open position. For instance, you open a position worth of $150,000 and you are trading with a leverage of over 30 times your account size. You are expected to have at least $5,000 in your account in order for you to maintain this open position. So let's go to other market trading terms. We have what we call the risk management. This is a prerequisite for every trader who wants to be successful. For the sake of this series, we'll just be giving you the definition of what risk management is. But for now, you should know that risk management helps you to control or reduce financial risk in the markets. And so in order to achieve this, we have what we call the stop loss and the take profit. These are two basic tools of risk management. The stop loss, it helps you to close a position automatically once it reaches the specific preset price. In trading, you don't always have to assume that price will go your way, and so in order for you to minimize your loss in the market, it is advisable to apply stop loss. By use of this stop loss, you close a trade automatically when it goes against you. And for the take profits, on the other hand, it is used to secure your profits. Therefore, we already know what profit and loss means, and it is not different from what it is in the forex market. But in practical terms, it means that this is the proceeds you get from a trade which you've closed for the day, or you've closed for the month, or for the week. Thereabout depends on how long you hold a position. Also, it is popular among traders to use the term bear market or a bull market. Of course, they don't mean to say that there are sales of animals in the market. A bear market doesn't mean that the market is occupied by bears. No, what it means that the market price is on a decline, and traders are expecting that price will go down further, and so they go short. Therefore, they decide to sell more of their assets in anticipation that this price will keep going down. And on the other hand, in the bull market, the market does not sell bulls. It's a market where only currencies are sold. So by the bull market, on the other hand, they mean that the market is on a rising and price is going further higher. So they expect that the price will keep going higher, and by this means they go long. That means they decide to buy some more assets in the market and hold on to buying positions. Before now, you've heard me mention the brokers in the market, and by now you should know what they do and what they stand for in the forex market. These are intermediaries that enable traders and financial institutions to execute orders in the market. So trading in the forex market is made possible by these intermediaries. They give you the spreads in the market, and they give you the quotations that you buy or sell from. More importantly, a trader can only make profits in the market due to the changes of values of currencies in the market. Now, these fluctuations of price in the market is called volatility. And this is why on a daily basis, you have so many people entering the forex market, because it is highly volatile. And so retracement, this is a short pullback in the market. It's a temporary reversal within a larger trend. But the actual changes in the direction of the market is called reversal. So there's a cut difference between retracement and reversal. What is implied by retracement is just a temporary pullback, a short pullback, but what is implied by reversal is a complete change of the market direction. So, what's our technical analysis and fundamental analysis? Of course, these are two forms of analysis in the forex market. They are used for predictions to determine where price is going, whether price is going higher or price is going lower. And traders that use a fundamental analysis make predictions using the economic and political data of a country to determine the value of their currencies. So here they make analysis weighing the effects of this data on their currency pairs to predict which way a currency pair will move. And on the other hand, the technical analysis relies on chart patterns of previous and past performances to predict which way a currency will move next. As you go into further studies of the forex market, you will come across what is called the Japanese candlesticks patterns. These are common technical analysis tools used in the forex market, and you also come across what is called the chart patterns. For instance, the trends in the market. They have three major trends in the forex market, which are the uptrends, the downtrends, and the sideways trends. Now, these are technical analysis used popularly among traders in the forex market to determine where prices will go next in the market. So here we come to the end of this series. We've talked about the market terminologies, we talked about the trading terms used among traders in the forex markets, and we've seen how we can apply this in our forex trading. But in our next series, we'll be talking more about the currency pairs. These are what we trade in the forex markets, and we're talking about how you can trade these currency pairs, and also talking about how you can calculate your pips, because these are your means of measuring your profits and losses in the forex markets. See you next time.